What is up? Happy New Year and welcome back to Southern Unscripted. I'm so excited to kick off 2026. I have so many things we want to talk about on today's episode. You guys, it's season two. I am recharged, ready to go, and we are going to kill this episode and all the upcoming episodes and the value that I am bringing to the table. I'm super excited. Let me turn this on silent. Of course. Okay, so new year, I'm just like, all right, 2026. I kept pondering on like what value can I bring? Because everybody's always like, new year, new you. I get it. I love it. I'm always here for it. Some people get annoyed when people say new year, new you. And I'm like, I like it. Obviously, we love you just the way you are and we don't want you to change, right? But for things to change, you have to change. So, like, in order for you to change your circumstances, in order for you to have new goals, in order for you to reach those things that you've been like just really focused on trying to reach, there's something about you that needs to change or shift in order for you to reach that. So, new year, new you always fits well. Don't take it so literal because we love you just the way you are. But I think it's an easy way to say, I'm ready. I'm ready to do something new. I'm ready to shift something. That way I can reach the goals that I've been trying to reach so much. So, on this episode, we are going to talk about goal settings without burnout. I'm going to mention this letter that I write to myself every single year, and I highly encourage all of you to do the same. I'm going to talk about some revelations from growth of that based off of my experience and what I've been through. And then just kind of like rewriting your narrative and living with direction and let's see where this takes us. Okay. First and foremost, we're not doing vision boards. We're not doing crazy wake up 5 a.m.s. We're just going to do real goal setting. And I can tell you right now, I have done all of it. Every year I have made a vision board, which some of the things on the vision board came true. Some of them I have not reached yet. And I like adding yet because we will get there. Um, but I think these, this could be controversial, especially from, people who are so big on goal setting. But I think what happens is, you move into a new year with the intention but these vision boards create pressure. How am I going to get to 10K months? How am I going to, do this and do that? And it creates this pressure and pressure and pressure, and then almost overwhelming that ends up to being burnout stage. And the last thing you want to do is burnout because then midway through the year, just, you kind of quit on yourself. And then by the end of the year, you're like, another shitty year. Another shitty year went by and I didn't do any of the things that I said. Well, it's because you created pressure at the beginning of the year. Be realistic, be gentle, make them smaller because the smaller goals are only stepping stones to the larger ones, right? So you have to really tailor the difference between a goal that excites you and a goal that, pressures you. For me, I always love change, so anything that's new is exciting. I have been getting antsy lately because I'm doing the same thing, and if you know me, you know I do a lot of things. Um, and so if it doesn't excite you, if it doesn't make you lose sleep overnight, which I know that sounds horrible, but if you're just thinking about that thing through the night, then that means you're excited about it. That means you just, and I mean it in a positive way, like you're trying to sleep, but you're building business in your brain. That's what I mean, keeping you up, not like overwhelmed, burnout, like a stomach gut wrenching feeling keeping you up. So first and foremost, you have to find that goal that it's going to excite you. And how do you know that this goal is actually aligned? For me, I like to pray about it. I like to, some people want to talk to the universe, and like I'm all big on alignment and knowing that it's right. And so for me, it took me so long to figure out how do I know alignment, right? But that's going to be a whole nother episode of like, you really just need to learn how to dig deep and grow within, because you can't listen to yourself if everything else is so noisy. You won't be able to feel the alignment or see the alignment if everything around you is just so noisy. Like work can be chaotic, everything, like for an example, I was talking to my husband about something yesterday in the garage, and I'm just like, I don't know why this makes me so angry. It's something that's so minor, but it's like I get so angry and frazzled about it. And he was like, I don't know why either. When you can be able to sit and acknowledge that. Something as simple as that. Like, instead of being angry about it, like, why is this making me angry? That's what I mean when you can figure out alignment, when you can really like be like, okay, I'm fucking overreacting. I need to chill out. Some people literally don't even know how to do that because they just are in the phase of the overreacting, probably going on a tangent. But again, you want to make sure that your goal is actually aligned. And then what does success look like in this season? It's not forever. So everything you do is a stepping stone. Like it's a stepping stone to the goal. I have very big goals, and some of my goals have absolutely nothing to do with my career. Nothing at all. Um, so again, it's just a stepping stone. Now, what you have to really figure out, what does success mean to you? Everyone has their own version of success. Success to someone else may simply just mean an accomplishment. Like, look, hey, I did that. Success to someone else may mean finances. Like, I want X amount of money. I want this much money in a month. I want to make this much money in a year. um that may be success to some people. Success to someone else is like could just be simply fitness goals, like fitness goals of like, you know what, I am going to be the fittest I have ever been in my entire life. And then you reach it. That's what success looks for you in that season. But whatever you choose, because obviously we're all different, you have to figure that out. What does success look like for you in this season? For me, I am going to go ahead and say just building my platform, whether it's Instagram, TikTok, podcast, that just achieving that has nothing to do with money, has nothing to do with, I really just want to build my platform, build my influence, because I have other goals that I want to reach. But in order for me to do that, I think I need a larger platform. Um, so goals can change as you change. They will always change every, quarter. Sometimes you might like, okay, I reached my goal. Let's make a new goal. So goals can change as you change, but that doesn't mean that it's failure. I have reached a bunch of goals. I have not reached a bunch of goals, but I don't think I failed at any point in time in my life. Again, it was stepping stones. It was stepping stones for me to get here, honestly. Um, so every year I write a letter to myself every single year. So, and I kind of started this a few years ago, where I basically write a letter to myself on January 1st. And on the outside of the letter, I put do not open until January 1st of the upcoming year. So I basically write the letter to myself from my future self. So in other words, I'm not going to be like, okay, so this year you did this, 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 this. I'm like, dear Sarah, I'm so proud of you for achieving XYZ, which is just the goal, right? It's not something I achieved yet, but I'm speaking to my future self, like my future self achieved it. This goes kind of into the manifestation realm of things. We're not going to break down manifestation today because I just feel like it could get so misconstrued. And some people think when you say, I want a pony, and then you just say it over and over again, oh, and then you get a pony, and you're like, I manifest. It's not that simple. It's something that you really have to practice on. But Um, you write it to your future self. I also think you can do like present you or past you. Um, it really just depends where you are in your life. Like if there are things that you have been holding on to, like a grudge, which is me. I'm going to use this as an example. I have a grudge that I've been holding on to and I need to let it go and it's really time for me to let it go. I think it's so freaking stupid, but it's like something that bothered me and I'm holding on to it. Well, not this year. We're letting it go. So, past me, I'm going to go ahead and say, everything that made me upset about this situation, everything that like really pissed me off. And then I'm just gonna like move it on to like, but we're leaving this in 2025. We're letting it go, right? That way I can like create that closure and move forward. Um, so yeah. I in my letter like to focus on both encouragement and accountability. I think that the letter is for accountability, obviously, because, we have goals. And they usually say by January 17th, everyone no longer does, like, everyone quits by January 17th, which is why we're talking about making real goals and not, goals that pressure you. Because come January 17th, you done burnt yourself out. We have 365 days, honey. We have to make it to the end. Okay. So, but I do want to do encouragement in my letter as well because who else is going to cheer you on? It's like sometimes people want people to cheer them on, but you have to be your biggest cheerleader. You have to be the biggest advocate for yourself. No one is coming to save you. I love that phrase. No one is coming to save you, not your kids, not your spouse, no one. So it's like if you can't figure out a way to encourage yourself, then I don't know what to tell you, Patricia. I mean, you have to find it. And it's like if you continue to do these things, it creates discipline too, which is another thing that it's like if you're not disciplined, no one's coming to save you, no one's coming to push you, no one's coming to hold your hand and say, "Let's go, go, go." So you literally have to be your cheerleader. So I want you to write a letter to yourself. I want you to encourage yourself that you can achieve all these things. You could buy the car that you want this year. You can get that big deal that you have been like praying about and hoping that you get. You can encourage yourself, but also accountability. What needs to happen for you to get that car? What needs to happen for you to achieve that goal? You've been praying about it, but have you been moving your feet to achieve the goal? Like, put it on paper, write everything out, do the math. Like, I'm terrible at math, but I'm going to do the numbers. Like, I need this many customers, this much time to achieve getting this car, like this many sales or whatever your career is. Everyone has math in their career. I think it's important to break all this down, put it on paper. That way, like, because some people are like, well, I want this, this, and this, and they never really do the math on like, what is it going to take to get there? And then a year goes by and they never got the thing that they want. And then the next year rolls around. I really want to get that this year. And again, they don't do the math. Therefore, the action steps aren't taken towards it and they don't achieve it. This is what I mean when you have to have accountability with yourself. You don't need to have someone holding your hand. You don't need to have, like, it's literally you against you. And this is what this letter can help you do. Granted, every year I write this letter, I don't remember what's in the fucking letter. Like, I know I have these goals and I know I put my math together and I know, what I want at the beginning of the year and how I want my year to look. But come the end of the year, I totally forgot what I wrote in the letter. But it's cool because when you open the letter and you're like, and I'm really hard on myself, if you haven't noticed. I'll open the letter, which I open the letter and I give myself a few days. I beat myself up, if there's something in there that I wanted and I didn't achieve it and I did do the math right. Um, I do beat myself up, but I don't live there. I'm hard on myself. I have standards for myself. And again, I'm I hold myself accountable. So if I said I was going to do something and I didn't do it, I I got to be my cheerleader and I got to be my coach and I got to tell myself, we didn't do it and I'm very very hard on myself. So what the letter can do is kind of help you see your patterns too over the years of or lack of, it might be a better word, of how you say you want something, but you never really take the action steps to do it. And this can kind of help you maybe break that pattern. I at least hope that for you, where you can break all the bad habits that are blocking you from getting to the things that you want. And in the letter, you can ask questions like, what do I need more of this year? But you're asking yourself this question, but you're writing it in statement form. Like, I'm so proud of you for achieving more of this year. Like say how proud you are. Like you literally write everything in the letter like you've already achieved it. You already got it. You already have all those things. You have to write it like and feel it, like really feel like, I'm so happy I was able to purchase this car. Even though you didn't purchase it yet, you just gotta write it that way. That way you can manifest and really, like, feel like, "I can do this. I can do this." Because the first step is always believing in yourself, which a lot of people lack. I guess that could be a whole nother episode too. Also, the letter, you wanna make sure what do you need to let go of, whether it is a grudge like we talked about, or, maybe you've been thinking about a career change. Maybe you like, "This isn't working. I need something new. I don't know what that new is." Just what do you need to let go of, and who do you wanna be when things get hard? The last couple of months, well, maybe let's just say a year or 2, I've been really trying to get closer to God and praying. If that's not for you, totally get it. Like I'm 38 years old and it took me 38 years to even be like truly like, okay, I'm going to dive into this on my own, like f- truly willing. I grew up in the Catholic Church and I grew up with it kind of being forced upon me, but like at my 38-year-old self was when I truly decided, let me dive. Like, this is something I want to do for me. And one of the things that I've been praying about is who do I need to be to achieve these things? Because the reality is like sometimes you're not blessed with certain things is because you're not someone who can handle it. If your goal is to have a shit ton of money, but you don't know how to manage money, why on earth would God bless you with a shit ton of money? It's like, who do I need to become to have these nice things? Who do I need to become to be the top real estate agent in the area? Who do I need to become? So, like, I am always working on myself to make sure that I am the person that can get every single thing that I want. And for being, I was a very broken person. So it is taking time, but I think that's perfect timing for me because I'm growing, I'm evolving, I'm polishing myself. I am molding into this incredible woman of God now. And I just know that I'm going to be blessed, especially in 2026, which I'm really excited about. I love the end of the year, New Year shit. I just really do because it's like I could take a look at my entire life, what worked, what didn't work, what we're doing, what we're not fucking doing anymore. Like put your foot down, set your standards. And reflection creates clarity, not pressure. So it's like when you can reflect on the things instead of like, I need to get this goal, I need to get this. Cause we talked about it, pressure. We don't want to pressure ourselves. We have to be realistic. Like realistically, like if you start writing your goals in this letter, and your goal realistically takes 2, 3 years, you need to know that. You need to know realistically t 2, 3 years is what's gonna make me hit this goal. So what do I need to do this year to, like, make sure that this year is covered? That way I for sure only have 2 more years to go. Does that make sense? Let me know if this resonates with you because I know sometimes I have a plan on what I'm gonna talk about and then she squirrels. But I really, 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 really want to tap into this segment, revelations from growth. As you know, I have been on this journey of growth, I have done many life coaches. We've already talked about this. I am currently working with a life coach right now. So I am always just trying to dig deep and have revelation. So I just kind of wrote down some questions that I can share with you that will lead to me sharing some stories. So first ask yourself, what's something you used to believe that you no longer believe? Well, let's start with that I needed an education to be successful or to be anything for that matter. So, a really good one that I used to believe in that I no longer believe in, and I can say this based off of experience, is that you have to go balls to the walls, 80 to 100 hours a week to achieve your goal. Well, let me just tell you that is not fucking true. Do I think you have to be willing to put in hours and hard work? Absolutely. I mean, nothing in life is easy and fucking free, right? But I had shops back home. I worked 6 days a week. Sunday was my only freaking day off. Long hours. And then when I'm off, I'm having to plan what my next day is going to be like. Like we had menus and we had specials, and like it was a nonstop 24/7 thing. Outside of that, I would have to travel for work and go to trainings and go to this and go to that. And I was balls to the wall. And I'm just like, to the point that I missed a lot of my son's high school soccer games, which high school, it's like, we're coming to an end. We don't know if he's going to go to play college or not. And I missed a lot of it because I'm like, I got to do this. I got to put my head down. I got to do this before he graduates. I made so much pressure on myself that I just had to have my head down. And the truth is like I had tunnel vision. My tunnel vision was like thinking that I had to go so fucking hard when I was missing something that was so important, not only to me, but to my son. I think he's okay with it because his father was always there. I mean, I hope he's okay with it. We never really like talked about it. I don't think he knows. He knows what I was doing. So it's not like he was mad at me for it. And actually, it kind of set the vision for him because he goes so hard right now too. I hope he watches this because he needs to chill out. But I never reached the big goal that I wanted to reach, and I was going so hard for like 6, 7 years. And I really believe that if I woulda did all of that, that I'd have reached it, and here I am, didn't reach it, didn't reach the goal. It actually just trained me to be a hard worker. It trained me to put my head down. It trained me to be more disciplined and, like, have, like, a all-in attitude, which I loved. It was a great lesson for me, but, dude, I used to believe that you have to go hard. No, it has to be realistic, and I love being partnered with my business partner now. Her and I, we're so much alike on in many ways, and I think both of us been through our own things in life, and so like we both can like have conversations and look at each other and just know at the end of the day, family is the most important thing. And if our season calls for like giving our family 100% of our time, then we're going to go ahead and do that because at the end of the day, that's all we have. Um, so just to say, what is that something that you used to believe that you no longer believe now? That's growth. That's growth when I can say like I used to go hard. I'm not saying I don't go hard, you guys. I am tired. We are like Christmas is over and we are literally diving into Mardi Gras. And I have freaking Mardi Gras costumes in a room with sequins everywhere because I am decorating costumes for my court members. I mean, like I am always working and I am always doing something. So I'm not saying don't go hard, but you really need to pay attention to what's more valuable. And money comes and goes, jobs come and go, families don't, right? So I used to believe I needed to go hard and I was going to put my hard work in front of family, all the above to achieve the goal, and that's just not true. Like you really just need to figure out your values, your morals, priorities. Um but yeah, so what have you learned about yourself in seasons of quiet? I love, 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 love this. I grow the most I say seasons of quiet, not really always quiet, but I will use the word isolation. Love hate word because isolation sounds so sad and depressed, but I think it is so good and it is freaking needed. Sometimes you just need to not talk to nobody. Sometimes you just need to turn the fucking phone off. Sometimes you need to just like sit alone with your own thoughts. Um Now, for someone who has controlled over my thoughts, because some people will think some crazy shit and you thinking about it so hard that you end up believing it and like you probably made it up in the first fucking place. Yeah, don't do that. That's why we work on ourselves. But if you can just sit in seasons of quiet, in these seasons, I've learned my family's more important. Um, I've learned in the seasons of quiet that you are your biggest cheerleader. You don't need to share all your hard times with a friend. Like I used to be the person that would probably call my sister or my best friend to vent. Maybe it was venting about something my husband did that pissed me off or like something in my family that's going on and I just needed to talk about it, like the drama. Um in the seasons of quiet, I just learned how to not do that. I don't talk to anybody. I don't share my business. I don't gossip. I don't like I kind of just cut that off. And I used to use the word, "I just need someone to vent to," like, "You need," and some people were like, "You need a friend and you need that." No, you don't. No, you don't. You keep your fucking business to yourself. You don't need to share that with anybody because they're probably judging you at some point in something you said. You don't need to do that. If you feel like you need to vent, then that means you need a life coach or you need to go to counseling if you prefer counseling. I'm not against counseling or a therapist. You go get professional someone to talk to about all the things, um, because what's gonna happen there is they're gonna challenge you, if you're hurt or if you're holding a grudge or if there's a situation at work or whatever it is, they're gonna challenge you to grow through it, not grow away from it, but actually through it, and that's when you start to have the revelations about yourself and growth, honestly. What surprised you about who you are becoming? I am an old soul. I am learning that I am an old soul. Um, Last year, I want to say I was starting to approach 40. And like I say last year I was younger than this year, but I like last year it hit me like I'm getting closer to 40 and I was starting to have a panic. Um, but for me, it's like I couldn't wait to hit 30 because I've had a child since I was 16 years old. And I always felt like I was being judged. Whether I bring my kids somewhere, they would always just be like, I'm so young. By the way, rude, people still do this. Like, oh, you have kids? How old is your son? And I'm like, he's about to be 21. And they're like, oh, you have a 20. I mean, it is, I still get it. I can own it better than I could when I was younger. When I was younger, it was more like shame. But now I'm like, yes, bitch, check me up and down. I know I am too fine to have a 21-year-old, but that's the reality. I have a 21-year-old and I look snatched. Okay. It's definitely a flex. But um, so I couldn't wait to be 30. And then once I hit 30, I felt like, okay, I'm an adult now. Like I'm old enough because I have a kid. I've been having a kid. I've been feeling like 30, honestly, because I've had a kid for so long at this age. By the time I made this age. But as I'm hitting 40, it's like, I don't know. This just doesn't feel good. I'm getting really old. I don't know how I feel about it. But the truth is like I'm an old soul. I've always hung out with people older than me. And if you're listening to this and I'm hanging out with you, please do not be offended. I just I think I'm an old soul. I love hanging out with people who are wiser than me because if I'm the smartest one in the room, I ain't gonna fucking get anything out of this circle, right? Like, but if I'm hanging out with women who have been through intense life experiences and they have um more wisdom and more longevity on me, like I can learn from that. I can it's almost like it's polishing me to be a great woman like the great women that I hang out with. So I'm actually surprised because I'm like scared to get old, but I would rather be around the older crowd. I've kind of always been like that, except when I was younger, I was hanging out with older guys, not girls. Um, but it seems like this generation of women are learning how to not be so bitchy and catty. It's like I'm just seeing more women wanting to lock arms, women empowerment. Let's help each other grow. How can I help you be better? Like I just see it more. Or maybe I'm just surrounding myself with the right people and I just don't see any of the negative side of women. Um, so yeah, I'm actually surprised of the person I want to become. Actually, I was hanging out. I want to say this real quick. I was hanging out. We went to like a birthday dinner in my lady group. And how do I say this? So I'm not wild. If you are following me from Louisiana, you know Sarah Noel. She was off the chain. Like she would go to the bar and drink and dance. I mean, she would dance on the board. Like she just had a really fun younger years, right? But then this new person, it's like, I really don't like drinking. I can have 2 drinks and that shit is gonna give me a headache for 2 days. I don't know what the deal is. So I'm kinda on this verge of like, I really think I'm done. I really think I'm breaking up with alcohol. I say this all the time, but like also annoyed because can I just go have 2 fucking cocktails with some friends and not be affected by it at all? Like I'm not even trying to like overdo it. 2 is fine. 2 drinks is fine, but it makes me feel so horrible that like I'm struggling to drink the 2. And one of the girls at the group, as I'm drinking, I don't know what we were talking about. And we were just saying how much fun we have. She's like, I can't see you wilding out. And I kind of chuckled in the back of my head because it's like my Louisiana people know a completely different version. But that's the cool thing about moving away is like I have the chance and the opportunity to not only rediscover myself, but recreate myself. Like, there were things about me that I didn't like that I was able to, zip up and fix and, mold. And like, they don't know the Louisiana version. They know this new version, which I like, but I'm also offended. Like, bitch, I could throw down. Don't even play with me. Like, I can throw down. I just choose not to because I'm fucking old and the feeling doesn't feel that great. It's not worth it, right? But I just wanted to share that because I'm like, that's kind of cool. They don't know that Sarah. She's still in there. Don't get it twisted. And she might come out for Mardi Gras, which I am very excited about. We have like 23 days, little plug, get your tickets. If you didn't, crew to you, make sure you get them. It's going to be an insane event. And she might let loose, but she's still in there. But yeah, it's super cool that I'm able to just kind of remake and rediscover this season of who Sarah is going to be without anybody knowing my background, which is kind of nice. Yes, you should move away too. Um, okay, so let's shift gears a little bit. Rewriting internal narratives. This will hit a lot of people. And I really want you to respond if this resonates with you by any chance. But let's just, again, I wrote some questions down that I just kind of want to go over that I'm like, my goal is to really add value, but based off of my experiences, take what you want, leave what you want, but I feel like this can be helpful. So, what beliefs did you inherit that no longer serve you? And I've kind of already shared that you have to work so many fucking hours just to be successful. That's not true. And a lot of these Gen X's can share that with you. They do a lot of this social media stuff, which by the way is a full-time job. If all I had to do was social media and I was making money, like it's still easy to put in 80 hours a week in just social media. So I'm going to give these young kids grace. It's just, I guess it's more easier to do because it's convenient versus like having to go to a job and drive, blah, blah, blah. Okay, let's not go on a tangent about that. Um, What do you recognize when you're operating from an old version of yourself? I really try my best not to operate at my old version, um, because the point in making the changes is to create a new version. The only time I recognize when I'm operating from the old version of myself is when I drink. You know, when you're drinking and you just like acting goofy because you're feeling all loose and you just start to say things that seem okay in the moment until you wake up the next morning and you're like, oh my God, what did I say? Oh, I feel so dumb. I was acting the ass, even though to everyone else it may not have been a big deal at all, but we're hard on ourselves. That is the only time I'm just like, I recognize, like, girl, don't do that again. And that's another reason. Add that to the list of like why we're not going to drink. Um, but rewriting your narrative, what does it look like to give yourself permission to evolve? I am all about evolving. I am all about change. But I guess I can think back of a time where it's like you're scared. I'm going to use me and Kyle as a great example. Um, Whenever I joined Herbalife, which I've shared with you, this company was a personal development driven company. This was the first time that I really ever opened my eyes into personal development, like to really dig into myself and be like, okay, there's more to life than this. What am I doing? What is all this, right? And so I started reading books. And as I'm reading books, you're having revelations of like, okay, this is cool, right? And then it's like the more I'm reading books and then I'm kind of putting some of the things that I'm reading into my life and like my actions, um, all while I'm starting to grow and evolve. And my husband was kind of still in the same, I don't want to say rut because our life was really good. It was just like he 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 made a lot of money and we would just drink on the weekends. We would have people over at our house every single Friday and Saturday night. We would cook and drink. What are we doing with our lives? Like, what is that? Why are we doing that? There's we're wasting money on drinking. We're feeling like shit and we're not growing. We could have lived the rest of our lives like that. Truly, we could have lived the rest of our lives like that because people do it all the time. But I guess when I started to personally start developing myself, I just wanted more. And so I started making crazy changes all while my husband wasn't making changes. And so we've done this for years. Now, I have been the wife that stays on his ass like you need to do XYZ. You need to read a book. We had this thing back home called Growth Challenge where you go away for a weekend, you turn the phones, no social media, and you really like dive deep into like your childhood traumas. Made him do that because I'm like, I was struggling with giving permission to myself to evolve because I was scared that if I continued to evolve and evolve and evolve, I would leave my husband behind, which would have ultimately led to us separating because I've seen a friend of mine, do 75 hard and she grows and grows and grows and her husband didn't. Guess what happened? They ended up divorcing because it's like they just don't even think the same anymore. Good for her. She grew and like she for the better, right? It's like I'm not gonna it's like growing isn't a bad thing. I'm growing for the better, but if you can't grow with me, then what are we doing? We don't even connect. We don't even enjoy the same things. We're not even like on the same page anymore. So I, for a long time, struggled with giving myself permission to evolve even more because my fear was always to leave my husband behind. I want to tell you, don't do this because if I wouldn't have done that, then maybe I could be further in my growth. Maybe I could be further somewhere in my career. Maybe I could be further somewhere else. Um, but I mean, I'm glad my husband decided to grow with me. Otherwise, his ass would have got left behind. Okay. And I don't mean just evolving, I mean by his damn self. Um, and men are very hard. Men are very uh what's that word I'm looking for? I don't even know. They're just like so hard and stern, and they're not good at being vulnerable. They're not good at, digging deep. I am so grateful that I have a husband with a lot of kicking and screaming that I had to do, but I am so grateful that he was willing to grow and meet me where I am. And now we're on the same page of our growth. Like he writes, I have my entire family write the letters. They all have the letters, write the letters, and we keep it in the safe. And they even look forward to reading, even Marley, she did her first letter last year, and it's just the cutest thing. Um, but even they look forward to it. They are excited about how they can grow and what they can implement in the new year. And so we're finally on the same page. It wasn't always like that, but I'm very grateful. And awareness is the first step to change. It's not shameful. A lot of husbands, I say a lot of husbands, men are almost shamed to acknowledge their weaknesses, maybe because a man, they're men and they have to be strong and they have to hold it together. And some believe they're providers. And the reason why I said some is because some think they're not. But they have like this strong will head on their shoulders, and they would be shameful to acknowledge their weaknesses or what they're not good at or what they need to work on, so they just don't. um so I am very grateful that I had a husband. If you are a guy listening to my podcast, even though 85% of you guys, my listeners, are women, if you are a guy listening, I do want to say this is the year to tear the wall down. This is the year to go all in. And like, I feel like you're more of a man when you're willing to dig deep and just be the husband that you need to be, the father that you need to be, the provider that you need to be, without being arrogant, without being a dickhead. Work on those things, guys. I mean, the world could be a better place if everyone is just constantly growing. And then lastly, just living with direction, not rigid plans. Like you just need to know, the direction that you want to go. Just some questions that you can reflect on is like, how do you balance discipline with your intuition? Again, I think this is going to come easier to those who have worked really hard on themselves. Some are not good at listening to their intuition. I am excellent at listening to my intuition. I have built incredible discipline, but I am not done building discipline. I'm going to level up the discipline this year, I promise. But learning how to balance it, I threw this question in here, but the truth is, let me know when you figure that out because sometimes I'm just, to the outside person looking in on my life, like, it looks like I have it all figured out. It looks like, I even had someone say, "God, you're doing a lot of things because 'cause I'm a real estate agent. I'm interior design. Yes, I still do photography. I have a podcast. I am in a crew, Mardi Gras crew." It gives me purpose. All these things give me purpose. Um and sometimes I think about, do I need to let something go so I can focus more eggs in one basket? And then I'm like, no, to me, it's better balance. Sometimes photography has slow seasons. So my other careers take care of the slow seasons and vice versa. But my goal this year would be to increase the income overall to where I can hire my very own personal assistant. That is my big goal this year. I want to have a personal assistant who can work with me till the end of time. I want to find my person who can literally just be on my hip and help me do all of the things, because if I can delegate some of these things, all of my businesses would elevate this year. But it's like sometimes when you're a one man show and you're trying to do all this, it is a lot, okay? Um so yeah, how do you balance discipline with intuition? You let me know when you figure that out. What does trusting yourself actually look like in a daily life? I trust myself more than anyone else. I think just in this season, I trust myself too much. That is the issue I am having. Um, but sometimes what I think is best for me is not what's best for me. And so this is another one of those things where I'm learning to lean on God and trust his plan, because at the end of the day, it's up to him. And so with me doing this, I have learned to not get so annoyed if I'm not going. my way, or like even like, okay, well, I'm not gonna let that bother me because God is taking care of it. It it sounds so cliche to say, I guess. But it has brought a sense of peace to me to where I used to be, I even used to say this, like, "I'm a worry, I'm a worry. I don't watch news because I worry. I don't do this because I worry, like, I'm gonna worry about it." It has released this feeling of worry from me, and I don't really worry about anything. Everything's always gonna work itself out, so, like, why are we worrying about it? We don't have to worry about that at all. How do you move forward when you don't have all the answers? For me, living with direction, exactly, you just keep going. You just keep going until your gut's telling you, your intuition's telling you this isn't the path. If God puts something in your face and shows you that this isn't the path, you stop moving forward. But like, just always move your feet. It's crazy because that, same thing, people want to manifest or people want to pray to God. God, please send me more money. Please, please just send me more money. Okay, but you didn't go to work today, girl. How do you want them to send you more money? Like, you can pray and you can manifest, but you still have to move your feet. You still have to put in the actions. You still have to like actually do the work. Um and I don't even know if I answered that question. How do you move forward when you don't have all the answers? Yeah, you just keep going. You just keep going. We don't have the answers. We don't know what tomorrow's going to bring. We have no freaking idea. We don't even know what 2026 is going to bring. But what we do know is we're going to be positive and we're going to be disciplined and we're going to hold ourselves accountable. We're going to be our own cheerleaders. We're not going to feel like we need, recognition and all this other stuff from all these other people. No, 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 no. We're doing it for ourselves. It's us against us. And that's how we're going into 2026. And last question is, what's one small intention that can change the tone of the entire year? I am still trying. I haven't written my new letter yet because I got to give myself a few days after reading my letter. Like, I really got to sit with it. Last year, my word was consistency. My son is kind of mentoring me when it comes to TikTok right now and being consistent and just making sure I post once a day. Every now and then I miss a day. So then the next day I'll make sure I post two, to where like I am just trying to be so consistent. That was my word last year, consistency. I don't know what my word is going to be this year. But I am going with an intention of like, this is going to be the tone for the entire year. And I'm going to talk more about this on my next episode. That way, because my letter will be written, everything will be solidified, and we'll be ready to take on the new year. Just don't feel overwhelmed by the new year energy. Don't if you don't get down to your goals till like the second week of January, that's fine. Just be so intentional that it makes it more doable. When you go in and you're like, pressure and I need to do this and I need to do that, you're not gonna make it. You're not gonna make it to the end of the year. Please just don't do that to yourself. If this resonates, sit with it for a bit. Um, Reach out to me, ask questions, let me know if there's anything I can do to help you set your goal, write your letter, um, or just guide you. I'm going to say this very lightly, but I am down to do accountability groups. My only stipulation is you still have to hold yourself accountable. Like, whenever I was building teams and I had all these people underneath me, I don't fucking feel like holding anybody else's hand again, you guys. It's like, if I didn't hold their hand to do it, the task didn't get done. Therefore, it was almost like I was enabling my team to count on me to hold their hand. I am no way, shape, or form interested in that life. I don't even want to hold my kid's hand to hold them accountable, which I do because they're a child and we're molding and polishing and grooming my child to make sure that she's good, right? But you have to be an adult. You have to say you want these things. You have to create your own discipline. I am nobody's babysitter, nor do I want to be. I hate micromanaging people. Like, I don't understand how people can't just do things on their own and get it done right? So like, that's, if I say I'm going to do something, I do it. I mean what I say what I mean. Like, I am always going all in. And so I'm down to create some type of accountability group. Just reach out to me and let me know. Because I'm so down. I love encouraging people. But again, you got to be willing. You got to be willing to do it on your own, be your own cheerleader, be your own cheerleader. Um, so in a nutshell, I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just sharing what I've learned through the years and through my life coaching and through my letters and through reading my books and learning more about myself and my goals and what I want to do in life. Um, so I hope that this can encourage you. Maybe write the letter. Maybe, go set goals. You don't need a new planner to have the goals. Where the old school planners have the ships have sailed on that. We put everything in our phone. You don't need to do anything drastic except commit. Mentally commit and say you're going to do it. Give yourself permission to slow down. Like my goal is going to be working so efficient this year, and if I have to say no, the answer is no. Reframe your goal settings. Know that, growth doesn't have to be loud. You can sit quiet and be by yourself and still be growing. Um And I hope that this was the real value in our first episode of season 2. I can't believe I'm saying that. This season, I want to say I am going to bring as much value as I can. Um, I hope to bring more guests because I know you guys like the guests and the conversations. Just sometimes it's not always ideal because my schedule, remember I'm doing this on my spare time. So my schedule and working with other people is just not always the easiest to align. But other than that, my goal is to bring you value. Please like, comment, share, help me boost these episodes. Share in text messages on Facebook, wherever you can, get the word out. Let's grow this thing this year. And I think that's it. As always, thank you for just supporting me on this journey. And happy freaking new year. Let's rock this year like we have never done before. We're all going to come out 1,000% better than we started this year. And nothing excites me more than growth. So until next time, I will see you guys back in 2 weeks. And I love y'all. See ya.